Hi guys, how are you? So it's been a while since I've done a video down the plot. I've been away on holiday with the family to Scotland, which was really nice. Never really been to Scotland before. I've been there for a day and that was it, but we spent 10 days in Scotland, which was really nice. Stayed with some friends. We saw the west coast, Mulla, Galloway, near Stranraer and all that area. We stayed at a place called Three Locks, which was just a nice little caravan park. It was good actually for the money we paid. It was probably the cheapest holiday we've ever had, and yet it was probably one of the most fun we've had. I highly recommend it. Three Locks Caravan Park. So don't get me wrong, if you want ultimate luxury and 5-star, then don't go there, because that's not the sort of place it is. I mean, we paid under 300 quid for a week in a static caravan. Caravan was clean, it's very basic, but that's all you needed was a crash pad somewhere to sleep, so it was good. So friend Jeremy's been looking after my plot for me. He's been watering it, well, mainly watering the greenhouse, because by all accounts we've had an absolute shed load of rain in Shropshire the end of August, sorry, the middle of August. God, I don't know where I am. The first week in August. And looking around the plot, you can tell, because things have just gone absolutely mental. Yeah, everything's grown, everything's shot up. So which is good. I mean, I've got loads of crops, but I've also got loads of weeds as well. So I'm just making myself a brew before I get started. A friend of mine, Joe, who I met a few years ago on a castaway challenge for charity, he made me a rocket stove, which is absolutely awesome. See if you can catch it there. So that is going to be a great addition to the plot. Means all my old, I've got a little pile down here, if you can see. I have a gilly kettle. I don't know if any of you ever heard of them. It's for the Americans who don't know what a gilly. He's like a tracker. They come from Scotland, and they're like the best of the best for like tracking like across moors and forests and stuff. I think the SAS actually adapt some of their things. What the gillies do, they track deer, and they've done it for hundreds of years. But anyway, there's a thing called a gilly kettle, which is like a rocket stove. So it burns from the bottom up in like a tornado effect, which causes the heat for very little fuel. But the surround of it is a kettle, so you boil water in it. So I've got a gilly kettle, hence the wood that's down there. So occasionally in the winter I bring the gilly kettle down, just because it's nice to have a fire. It keeps you a bit warm. So, but I've always got a bit of wood kicking around, and the good thing about a rocket stove, you can literally burn any wood in it. So even if it's treated wood or anything like that, I mean, you're not cooking over the flames. You're just using the heat from it, so to boil water and stuff like that. So it's all good. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, friend Joe, he made me that, which is going to be fantastic. So I've basically come down here. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got quite a lot of weeding and things to do. I don't want to do too much because I've been suffering the last couple of days with my back and stuff, and I went to football this morning, walking football, and it was really hard. I mean, I was just felt in pain after about 10 minutes, which is obviously because of being on holiday and not doing it for a bit. My muscles have reverted back. Like I said, my condition's a bit strange, as in like I need to be doing little bits now and then just to stand still. Basically, I'm never going to make myself any better, but if I don't do these little bits of physio and so on and so forth, I can actually make it worse. So yeah, so I'm just going to do some light weeding today. I'm going to pull some of the potatoes up. I'm going to clear a few beds, and I'm going to start covering them in tarp now, ready for the winter. I'm a bit behind actually. I mean, before I went on holiday I was way ahead, but what happens when you go on holiday? You automatically fall behind. So yeah, I've got quite a bit to do actually. I might have to get the old weed killer out as well. I mean, I know people are going to kill me about weed killer, but I'll talk about it in another video. You can skip through it. So, but it helps me. So I try not to use it, but sometimes I just have to, you know. So yeah, I will have a scout round my plot. I will assess the jobs, have a cup of tea, and then I'll find a place to start. So, speak soon. So guys, probably see the plot over my shoulder. Just going to wash my cup out. My gate out of the way. So everything's grown really well. I'm quite pleased actually. I've got so much to harvest, and so much that's going to be ready to harvest in the next couple of days. It's really good actually. Like I was saying, tons of weeds as well. So that's the bit washed out. What I will do is I will flick the camera around and I'll give you a bit of a tour while I walk back to the shed. Okay guys, so here's the old plot. These sunflowers, the ones that I said that were wilted and they'd been neglected for about 3 weeks with no water, and I thought they were dying. Well, they're some of the best sunflowers I've grown. It's crazy. Keep them keen, treat them mean. So my beans down there, they're doing well. They're to be left and to be stored. That's the salsify, something like that. It's like a Victorian parsnip. My new potatoes there. Still to dig up some up. I've not had any blight yet, touch wood. Fingers crossed and all the rest of it. That's just leaves dying off because of obviously the the past flowers have finished. The plants are finished now. The African marigolds are massive. Never seen anything like it. I will be growing African marigolds again. I really like them. I really like marigolds. I know people think they're really kitsch and stuff, but they just remind me of, I think they were the first flower seeds that we grew as kids with my granddad, so I really like them. My cosmos poppies, mine haven't flowered yet. Everyone else's are flowering, which is nice. Mine haven't, but that's fine, you know. They've started to get buds on now, so maybe I'll just have a late bloom. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I got beetroot in the middle there as well. We can see one that's gone to seed, but the rest are alright. I've got some caterpillars on my kale, which is a bit of a pain. Obviously the mesh has blown off at some point, but he's doing alright, so I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just going to go through and pick it all off. There's a nettle down there that wasn't there before, so he's come in the last week. My poppies are ready to collect the seeds. I've got lots and lots of seeds. Anyone wants any of these oriental poppy seeds, let me know. Message me your address and then I'll get round to popping them some in the post for you, because I've got tons of seeds and they were really nice. I will be growing them again. Onions, I've got to pull those out today, ready to store up. They'll probably be gone by the end of October. Beans are doing really well. Again, look at these, they're amazing. Oh, Mr. B, he's alright. I think it's because it was raining a minute ago, he's probably got wet. So yeah, marigolds, they're awesome. Nasturtiums have done alright, never really grown them before, so I'm mental. Oh no, it wasn't a beetroot, it was a chard that's gone to seed. I've got some to pick there. I did have a couple of lettuces down there, but I think Jed's might have had them, which is fine. I said to him, pick whatever you want, I'd rather pick them while I was away. There's a rogue potato there. Parsnips and wildflowers, they seem to be doing alright. Like I said, these are the things that annoy me with the wildflowers. I know the butterflies and everything else like them, bloody cabbage butterfly there, but I don't like these dandelion type bloody things. The apple tree has gone all crinkly, winkly like that. I have no idea what's up with that, but hey ho. It's got 2 apples on it and they don't look like the healthiest apples in the world. It's going to have 1 more year anyway, and I might cut it all back in the autumn. These are the Earth Walker sunflowers. They are really nice. we'll be growing a lot of these next year. That's the strawberry bed. We know all about that. Said to you before, it's all coming out, all being dug over, ready for the spring. So I've just let that go nuts. I don't really, not even going to bother with that yet, because it's literally gonna, strawberries are going to come out, and it's all got to be moved around. Strawberries have had 5 years in that bed now, so they need to come out. This is squash, pumpkin, which is done alright. They'll get made into some kind of soup. Oh look here, check out the rocket stove. You can feel the heat from here. That's why they call it a rocket stove. That's without a whistle soon. So yeah, all this area can be squirted with a bit of weed killer. The winter kale that I've got there, it's doing alright. It's not doing as good as I thought it would do. The last of my spring onions have gone to seed, and another one of these blinking things, so they've all got to come out today. Beans have done awesome. I've been eating beans quite my ears. Sweet corn is doing alright as well, which I'm happy about that. That again to be dug over, ready for the spring. This is my salad bed with some carrots in, and that's just been left. No idea what they are. Probably carrots gone to seed. I don't know. Lettuce gone to seed. It's fine. It goes to the rabbit. Oh no. That doesn't look very healthy. Has it been nibbled? Yeah. There's a pumpkin there that's gone soft. I think it's been nibbled by something. But I tell you what, my butternut squash, they are monsters. Absolute monsters. So I will be saving some seeds and growing from them again. My outdoor tomatoes are doing alright. Indoor tomatoes haven't done very well. I think it's irregular watering. Cucumbers inside though have done fantastic. Again, African marigolds, peppers, chilies going red. I put those tomatoes there to save some seeds. So yeah, everything's going really well. Anyway, I'm going to make myself a brew, so bear with me. Hello again. So it is now just come 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Glasses are steaming up again. Sun's come out there. Woo! Yay! Sun's out. So I thought I'd have a cup of coffee and tell you what I've done so far. I've had a good weeding session, which as you can see, it's a barrow full of weeds. Managed to go down that path there. I've also gone round the plot and I've pulled out all those horrible dandelion things that come in the wildflowers. I've covered my kale back up and squished the cabbage whites, because they're about, look, they're about cheeky little monkeys. Sun's come out, butterflies come out. In all fairness, I'm can't wait for the cold weather now so I can get the kale uncovered. But I might have to come down here with some garlicky solution and give it a squirt. I've also been inside my greenhouse and started to cut the foliage off my tomatoes. So yeah, my tomatoes haven't done great this year. Sorry, my tomatoes, lots of honeybees about. My tomatoes haven't done great this year in the greenhouse. I think it's because I tried a new packet and they're Italian tomatoes and they need really, really regular watering. I mean, I've been coming down every other day, but I still get split tomatoes. I mean, don't get me wrong, they taste fantastic. And my granddad, who I gave some plants to, he's had some tomatoes which are like cricket ball size, probably bigger actually, like baseball size I suppose. I think a baseball's a bit bigger than a cricket ball. Oh, they've been beautiful, but even he's had splitting. And his tomatoes are kept in the greenhouse right opposite his back door, so he literally is on site and he can water them all the time regularly, and he's been watering them at the exact same time. He also has a jug which is a measurement, and he knows what measurement goes in tomatoes, and he's still getting split in. So I think the idea is these tomatoes, although they taste amazing, don't look fantastic, but they taste amazing, probably best not to have them on an allotment, because I think you need to literally treat them like with kit gloves. It's crazy. But my other tomatoes, which are out in the plot, the Gardener's Delight, although we haven't had the sun for it, they're doing all really well, and I imagine that they'll start to ripen in the next couple of weeks. So but I'm actually going to change the greenhouse round next year, but I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So yeah, I've started to cut all the foliage away from my tomatoes. There's quite a few plants there with chilies and cucumbers growing up through them, so it looks more foliage than there actually is. For instance, that's all chili. You take that away. Something my granddad has always done, that basically I want these tomatoes now to ripen, and that's all I kind of want from the plant. So I've really cut it back, so it's going to put energy into the fruit, and there's just a few leaves for photosynthesis. So that's what I've done with all my tomatoes now. And then once these tomatoes have ripened, every time I see new, I've left these on this plant here because this plant hasn't got many tomatoes on it, so I don't mind that one. But the others, I've any new flowers, I've just been pulling off. I don't want any more fruit on these. So like up here, look, you got one and fruit there. They can just come off. Don't want any more energy into making more fruit. I'm happy with what I've got here and what I've got at home in the beds. Cucumber's doing really well. Unfortunately, my mate Jeremy, he messaged me on holiday, after my holiday, and said, "Ross, your cucumbers are absolutely disgusting." And I think there'd been a rogue male flower. Because I got back from holiday and I picked 2 cucumbers and they were both gorgeous. So I think poor old Jez got one of the bitter ones. So, no, and I've got another big fat one down somewhere. There's one that's almost ready. I saw him a minute ago. Oh, he's about somewhere. Where is he? Ah, there he is. Can you see him? These cucumbers, they've been really good this year. Chilies, these Tesco chilies. I mean, look at that for a chili. They're amazing. I'll be saving some seeds from them. Peppers are coming through now. I'm the only one in my family that eats peppers, so those 3 peppers will be fine. Like I said, these tomatoes here, I've just left them there to dry out, and I'm gonna try and save some seeds from them. They're not going to be the only thing I save seeds from, but they were split and they were ripe, and I thought, well, let's see how it goes. At the end of the day, in the wild, tomato falls on the floor, it rots, things eat it, seeds grow a new plant. So might not be the official way of doing it, but that's the way I'm doing it. Look at that. These chilies are doing really well. Some big fat ones there as well. Looking forward to cooking with those chilies. These are the Italian tomatoes again. They are absolutely gorgeous, but like I said, there's such hard work. Okay, so the plan for when my greenhouse is done, at the end of this year, I'm going to take everything out of it, because I think I've told you before that I leave the door open anyway, but father-in-law's going to come and put me a door back on for next year. I'm going to put a wooden frame around it, and then I'm going to probably make a wooden door out of some old pallets and put 2 hinges on to swing and open. It only has to be like a shed door. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a U-shaped raised bed. So it's going to start from the door here all the way along all the way along the back and all the way down here. And I'm going to have it so it's just inside the door, probably about 3 inches that side and 3 inches that side. So if you can see the pane of glass, it will come to about here and go all the way around. And I'm going to build it up slightly at the back to make it quite deep, probably as deep as these pots, so probably maybe even 2 foot deep. And over the winter I'm going to fill it with compost and stuff, cover it over, and then hopefully I will be able to get a lot more plants in next year. And I'm going to rig up some kind of a drip feed irrigation system. I want it, this is the idea behind it, I want it so when it rains it waters the greenhouse, because when it rains I don't want to be coming down the allotment. So the plan is, if I can get some gutter in to go on here, when the rain hits down there it will fall in and it will water the greenhouse. That is the plan. But I also want a way of turning it on and off, not digitally or anything, but a way that over the winter, when obviously we get a lot of rain in Shropshire, and if there's a lot of rain forecast, I can come down, put the plug in, and the gutter doesn't divert into the greenhouse. But it just means that over the spring and summer months I can kind of neglect the greenhouse, knowing in a way that I know that if it's rained, because at the end of the day when it's rained I don't have to come down and water the rest of the plot, I only have to come down to the greenhouse. So that's the plan for that. And then I am debating a polytunnel there. I don't know yet though, because that was all supposed to be fruit, hence the plastic was down. We'll see how it goes over the winter anyway. Yeah, so that's the plan for that. Any ideas, people, let me know. But I think that could be quite a cool raised beds inside this greenhouse. I think I could get a lot of stuff growing early, salvage through the winter and everything. And I'll still grow my seeds in here. I will just put some wooden planks over the raised beds to support the seed trays. So it'll be a multi-use kind of thing. Because the idea, well, another idea I've had is if I can get beds in all the way around at the back of the greenhouse there, you see where the cucumbers are arching over? If I could put some kind of structure and maybe grow maybe a peach tree, I don't know, or maybe some kind of tree that we can't normally grow in this country outdoors because of the frosts. So that's the plan anyway. So that's the plan anyway. Sweet corn's been doing okay. Got some good cobs down there. These are the things I've been pulling out. I haven't done this side yet. Bloody hate them. Absolutely hate them. They're just one of the worst weeds. I just hate seeing them. Stink as well. We're getting there slowly anyway. I'm away for 3 weeks in September, so I want to get a lot of this done because I know that I'm going to be playing catch up again. So but I'm not too disappointed with it. I need to cut the grass down there, but I haven't seen the person to ask if I can borrow their lawnmower. It means I have to get mine down, which is a pain because I have to bring the trailer. I've got a petrol mower, but it has to go into a trailer because it won't fit in my car. And although it's really good when I bring it down here, it's quick to mow, but it's a right pain. These are my moneymaker tomatoes. They're doing really well. Happy with them. Actually, I've discovered another way of growing tomatoes, which I will talk about when I'm at home. Well, I'll let you know now actually. It's yeah, I've actually grew some tomatoes at home excuse the sun, get in a place where the sun's not too bright. So I've actually grown some tomatoes at home, and they are growing up with runner beans, and they've worked really, really well. The beans are supporting the tomatoes, they're wrapping themselves around the tomato stems, and then as they're growing up they're actually holding the tomatoes up, which is really quite cool. Completely by accident I had some spare tomatoes and I thought, well, where have I got space? Oh, I've got space in between the beans. And I thought, well, that'll be good. And also, I don't know whether it's to do with the nitrogen in the beans, but they're really healthy plants. I mean, my soil's actually really good at home, so you know, it's not like they're in bad soil or anything. But so yeah, I'll show you that when I'm at home. But I'm going to experiment on that next year. I might do a bit of a runner bean cage with tomatoes in the middle of it. See if you know, see how it goes. Another thing I'm going to experiment with next year is like the Three Sisters growing, but I'm actually going to try put in something just scurried along the floor, must be my mouse or something. I'm actually going to try growing cucumbers up the sweet corn, but some gherkin cucumbers. Obviously they're only little, so they don't take a long time to ripen. Yeah, I thought I'd give that a go. See, just things that I've noticed when I've been gardening this year. I thought, oh, that could work, that could work. So anyway, more ideas. Must crack on, do some more.